for anyone who's paid any attention to me, you'll know that I like anime figures. I desire to have figurines of all of my favorite anime characters. Unfortunately, some of them are either really expensive or they don't have a figurine at all, which is honestly an injustice in this world. And while I do think that Neapolitan, the first mascot of this channel, will eventually receive her own figurine, because, in Volume 6 they set her up to be a more formidable antagonist, and, if not, then Rooster Teeth are even bigger idiots than I thought they were. The one anime character that I really love, who I thought would never get a figurine of her very own, was Serena from Yugioh Arc V. She is the lovely intro girl of this channel, and her monster, Lunalight Cat Dancer, is my current profile picture on this channel. So, I do love her a lot. She's probably my #1 favorite Yu-Gi-Oh girl. Through no fault of her own, the company who owns this character is Konami, and Konami has always been very, very, very lacking on merchandising. Honestly, they've usually restricted themselves to the original Duel Monsters anime, with shirts, figurines, and what have you. And the only two characters they've really ever made figures for were Yugimoto and Seto Kaiba, which is kind of understandable. After all, these two are the most iconic Yu-Gi-Oh characters of all time. But they never really seemed interested or didn't really care about providing merchandise for other aspects of the anime. So like GX, 5Ds, Zexal, Arc V, and now Vrains. Until recently. It's like some Konami executive fell down the stairs, hit their head, and realized that, oh wait, people actually care about the other Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Maybe we should make some figurines. And when I say figurines, I'm not talking about deformed Funko Pops or keychains. I'm talking about high quality, well-made figures where I would actually pay money to actually have it shipped from Japan over to the United States to my house, because it's just that good. This company, Marcuni, I believe, announced figures for Yami-Yugi and Seto Kaiba. And I'm like, okay, they're just doing the same figurines. And there was this Figma released of Playmaker, which is the current protagonist of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. I'm like, okay. And then it started getting really interesting, where this same company released a, grayscale bust of a Judai figure and a Yusei Fudo figures, which are the protagonists of Yugioh GX and 5Ds respectively. And I'm like, did you actually commission something outside of Duel Monsters, Konami? And then, now, this figure from MegaHouse was announced. And this is honestly quite a landmark, because this is literally the first time that a female protagonist has received her own figurine. So, putting on my conspiracy theory hat is Amakuni, the company who is making all these figures for the male protagonists of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. And is MegaHouse, the company who is going to be making figures for all of the female protagonists or secondary leads. Now, if my suspicion is correct, that means at least one female lead from each of the animes will get their own figurine. Now, for Duel Monsters, it'll probably either be Tay or My Valentine, and for Yugioh GX, obviously, there's the Alexis figure. For 5Ds, it's going to be a Kiza. And then for brains, it's going to be a Blue Angel, most definitely, as they all fit the mold of female protagonist. However, for Zexal and Arc V, that's where it gets really interesting, because there are actually multiple girls in these shows that could fit the mold of a female protagonist. To cut to the chase, if what I think in my mind is true, which is not always the case, I'm going to put that out there. If MegaHouse is indeed going to be making, you know, a female lead figurine for each of the shows, that means Serena literally has a 50% chance of being selected for her own figurine. Because there are actually two who are most likely in Arc V who would get their own figurine. One is Serena, and the other one is Yugioh Hiragi. So either or of them, I would really be perfectly fine with, right? Like, if it turned out to be Yuzu, you know, okay, fine. Because I do like her as well. But if it were Serena, I would literally freaking, jump for joy and bounce all over the walls, because she's my channel mascot. I mean, like, that would be just the greatest thing ever. You know, and before, I never thought there would be the slightest possibility that Serena would ever get her own figurine. And now with the announcement of this Alexis figure from MegaHouse, it opens the floodgates. She could very well receive her own figurine, and that would be just great. I would literally throw like a freaking dance party or something. And I would be the happiest kitty in the whole wide world. I would actually pay any amount of money I could to get my hands on a potential figurine of Serena. So Konami, if you are listening, you got your most money bank customer right here. If you commission a Serena figure. Right here. I am 100% serious. I will pay any amount of money I can to get my hands on a high quality Serena figure.